Imagine sitting at a Christmas dinner table and, instead of the traditional turkey, finding something totally unexpected like worms. This might sound strange, but it's real and happens in some cultures around the world. In this video, you'll discover Christmas traditions so unusual that they challenge everything you know about the holiday season. Why do these practices exist? What do they mean? And how do such different traditions show us the diversity and creativity of humanity? Get ready to explore a fascinating and often hidden side of global Christmas celebrations. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to celebrate Christmas in a completely different way? Maybe worms won't seem so strange once you understand the context. Let's dive into this unusual universe. The origins of peculiar traditions. Christmas is a global celebration, but the accompanying traditions are shaped by the history, religion, and customs of each culture. In many regions, Christmas practices were born from a mix of local festivities and external influences, creating rituals that may seem strange to those in other parts of the world. After all, what we now call Christmas is a mosaic of cultures adapting to the idea of celebrating the end of the year. A classic example is the influence of European pagan festivals like Yule, which celebrated the winter solstice. Elements like decorating pine trees and exchanging gifts originated from ancient rituals that were incorporated into Christian Christmas traditions. But what about lesser-known traditions? They are often rooted in regional beliefs or even geography and available resources. In some cultures, creativity and necessity have shaped Christmas in unique ways. In places where traditional European Christmas ingredients weren't available, people transformed local dishes into symbols of the festivities. This explains why, in certain regions, we find foods or customs that seem unusual to others. For example, Japan's practice of ordering fried chicken on Christmas, a tradition influenced by 1970s advertising. Another important factor is religious and mystical influences. Many seemingly strange Christmas rituals have deep roots in spiritual or folkloric beliefs. In South America, for example, some communities celebrate with dances and meals that serve as offerings to give thanks for harvests or to ask for prosperity. These traditions carry symbolism that goes beyond mere celebration. Each peculiar tradition reminds us that Christmas is not a uniform event. It reflects each people's cultural identity, with practices shaped over generations. This shows us that unusual customs are not only entertaining but also a testament to how human creativity turns celebrations into deeply local and, at the same time, universal experiences. Traditions with unusual foods. When we think of Christmas food, images of roast turkey, French toast, and decorated cakes come to mind. However, in some parts of the world, Christmas dinners defy these expectations with dishes that might seem quite unusual. A curious example comes from Namibia, where some communities celebrate Christmas with dishes made from mopane worms. This protein-rich ingredient is a traditional and highly nutritious food in the region, adapted for end-of-year festivities. Another intriguing case is Japan, where Christmas lacks strong Christian roots. There, one of the most famous traditions is ordering a bucket of fried chicken from KFC. In Iceland, a peculiar Christmas tradition involves eating a dish called hakarl, fermented shark meat. While the taste is described as extremely strong and even difficult to enjoy, the dish pays homage to Nordic roots and ancestral preservation techniques. Like other exotic Christmas foods, it reflects the deep relationship between people and the resources available in their environment. These unusual food traditions show how culinary creativity is tied to Christmas festivities. More than just meals, these foods tell stories of adaptation, cultural values, and identity. They challenge our ideas of what's normal for Christmas dinner and invite us to explore new ways of celebrating this special season. Symbolic and peculiar rituals. Some Christmas traditions don't involve just food or gifts, but rituals so curious they feel straight out of a storybook. In Catalonia, Spain, one of the most unusual Christmas symbols is the cogotillo, also known as the pooping log. This tradition involves decorating a wooden log with a smiling face and a red hat. During Christmas, children hit the log with sticks while singing a song asking it to poop sweets and small gifts. Though it may sound odd, the practice has roots in ancient agricultural celebrations. In Norway, a rather peculiar tradition involves hiding all the brooms in the house on Christmas Eve. This custom originates from old beliefs that witches and evil spirits would emerge on Christmas night looking for brooms to fly on. By hiding these objects, families believe they're protecting their homes from supernatural forces. While simple, this practice reveals the influence of folklore on Christmas celebrations. In Ukraine, decorating Christmas trees can be quite surprising. In addition to traditional lights and ornaments, artificial spider webs and decorative spiders are commonly found on the trees. This custom is tied to a local legend about a poor family who couldn't afford decorations but was gifted by a spider that spun beautiful webs around their tree. Since then, spider webs are considered symbols of luck and prosperity in Ukrainian Christmas. In Venezuela, Christmas creativity hits the streets of Caracas in a unique way with roller skates. During the celebrations, it's common for people to attend Christmas Mass gliding through the streets on skates. The tradition is so widespread that some roads are closed to allow people to celebrate safely. It's an example of how rituals adapt to the climate and lifestyle of each place. These symbolic rituals, no matter how peculiar they seem, hold deep meaning for the communities that practice them. They connect people to their roots, celebrate their beliefs, and add a touch of magic to the festivities. While they may appear unusual to outsiders, these traditions are powerful reminders of how imagination and culture shape the spirit of Christmas worldwide. Different Christmas figures and legends. Christmas isn't just about Santa Claus and reindeer. In many parts of the world, local figures and legends bring life to the celebrations with stories that often deviate from what we consider traditional. A striking example is Krampus, a frightening creature from Austrian and German folklore. While Santa Claus rewards well-behaved children with gifts, Krampus punishes the naughty ones, carrying them away in a sack. In Italy, a legendary figure replaces Santa Claus in some regions, Befana, a kind witch who visits children on the night of January 5th. The legend says she offers gifts to the good and coal to the naughty. Befana flies on her broomstick and symbolizes purification and the start of a new cycle, linking Christmas to ancient Italian pagan traditions. In Iceland, Christmas is dominated by a series of folkloric figures known as the 13 Yule Lads. These Christmas lads are mischievous and each has a unique characteristic like stealing food or hiding objects. There's also the fearsome Gryla, a giant ogress who, according to tradition, devours naughty children. These characters create a mix of fun and terror, filling Iceland at Christmas with fascinating stories. In Latin America, mythical figures also play a role. In Mexico, for instance, the tradition of posadas involves symbolic characters reenacting Mary and Joseph's search for shelter before Jesus' birth. Although less frightening, these figures have a profound cultural impact, connecting Christmas to the region's religious and social origins. These different Christmas figures and legends show that the holiday season is more than a commercial or religious event. Each character reflects the values, fears, and aspirations of the cultures that created them. They enrich the celebrations with a unique touch of magic, making Christmas a time full of stories to share and remember. The diversity of Christmas traditions worldwide shows us that the spirit of Christmas isn't limited to one way of celebrating. From unusual dishes to curious rituals and folklore characters, each culture expresses its way of experiencing Christmas based on its values, beliefs, and history. This diversity invites us to see Christmas as a global event where human creativity transforms the same date into unique experiences. More than strange or funny, these traditions carry deep meanings. They represent the identity of people who, through Christmas, celebrate unity, gratitude, and hope. Even customs that seem bizarre to some have roots that reflect the history and challenges of the communities that practice them. It's a powerful reminder that cultural differences should be seen as treasures, not barriers. Additionally, exploring these traditions teaches us the importance of being open-minded about other ways of celebrating. Each custom has something to teach us, whether about resilience, faith, or simply the ability to find joy in simple things. Understanding these traditions helps us appreciate the world's diversity while reconsidering what truly matters at Christmas, sharing meaningful moments with those we love. So, did you enjoy learning about the most curious Christmas traditions around the world? Now you have amazing stories to tell and new perspectives on how Christmas is celebrated. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to support our work. And if you love exploring curiosities and learning new things, I recommend watching the next video, which will surprise you even more. Click now to keep discovering the world in a fascinating way.